What if I told you that the thing most women focus on is actually the least important thing men are holding on to in relationships? Yes, men notice beauty. But what keeps them, what bonds them, what makes them commit and stay devoted is not what they see on the outside. It's something far deeper. And most women overlook it because it isn't talked about in the usual dating advice videos. This matters because so many women exhaust themselves trying to be pretty enough or perfect enough for love. They invest in appearance hoping it will secure something lasting, but still find themselves with men who are distant, detached, or uncommitted. That's because looks may open the door, but they are not potholes a man's heart once you are inside. In this video, I'm going to review what men secretly want from women, and I promise you, it's not what you think. These aren't the surface level traits you hear recycled over and over. These are the hidden desires men rarely put into words but feel deeply every day. And once you understand them, you not only see men differently, you see yourself differently. So if you've ever wondered why looks aren't enough to keep love strong, there's the video you've been waiting for. Let's dive in. Number one, men secretly want to feel safe being vulnerable. What most men secretly crave far more than a beautiful face or a perfect body is the safety to be vulnerable without being judged, mocked, or misunderstood. Men are raised in a world that constantly tells them to man up, be strong, and never show weakness. Society teaches them that their worth is measured by their toughness, their money, or their ability to hide emotions. But the truth is, no matter how strong a man looks on the outside, inside he still has fears, doubts, and insecurities. What men secretly want from a woman is not just admiration, it's a space where they don't have to perform strength all the time. They want a woman who makes them feel like it's okay to exhale, to put the armor down, and to be human. Picture this. A man has just lost a big opportunity at work. Everyone at the office expects him to bounce back, to keep his chin up. His friends joke about it, telling him he will get the next one. But when he comes home, he's carrying the weight of disappointment and self doubt. He wants to say, I feel like I failed. I don't know if I'm good enough. But instead, he stays silent because he fears looking weak. Now imagine if the woman he loves gently asks, Are you okay? And instead of brushing it off, he finds himself opening up. He tells her what's really on his mind, and instead of making him feel less of a man, she listens and affirms him. In that moment, she's not just his partner, she is his safe place. And that is priceless. Because men, just like women, long for connection that goes beyond the surface. The difference is men often don't feel like they are allowed to express that longing. When a man finally finds a woman who doesn't punish his vulnerability, he feels seen in a way that he rarely experiences in the world. It's not about solving his problems. It's about allowing him to be real, raw, and unpolished without fear of rejection. That kind of emotional safety is rare, and it makes a man attached deeply to the woman who provides it. Men may chase beauty, charm, or excitement at first, but what they hold onto for life is emotional safety. If you can be the person who allows him to take the mask off, you give him something no one else can. The woman who gives a man the freedom to be vulnerable doesn't just win his love, she wins his trust, his respect, and his loyalty. And that is far more powerful than looks will ever be. Number two, men secretly want to be respected for who they are, not just what they provide. Beyond looks, beyond attraction, men secretly want to feel respected not for their wallet, their car, or their social status, but for who they are at their core. Many men live under the silent pressure of being valued only for what they can give, fix, or provide. Society constantly tells them, you're only as good as your paycheck, or your worth is what you bring to the table. That pressure runs deep and it can leave men feeling like they are replaceable if they stop producing or achieving. What men truly want is a woman who sees and respects their character, not just the outcomes or material things. Respect to a man is love translated into language he deeply understands. Think of this. A man works hard to take his partner out to dinner. It may not be the fanciest place in town, but it's what he can afford after a long week of bills and responsibilities. One woman might roll her eyes, compare the date to what another man could do, or make him feel like his effort wasn't enough. Another woman might smile warmly, thank him for planning the evening, and say, I love how thoughtful you are. To the first, he feels small. To the second, he feels respected. Same man, same effort, completely different emotional outcome. When a man doesn't feel respected, no amount of attraction or affection will make him stay. He will always feel like he is on trial, like he has to prove his worth over and over. But when a woman genuinely respects his decisions, his efforts, his vision for life, something in him relaxes. He feels honored. He feels like he matters. This doesn't mean blind agreement or never holding him accountable. It means showing him that you see his heart, his effort, and his humanity. That kind of respect feeds his soul in ways admiration for his looks, money, or charm never could. Respect who he is, not just what he does. Pay attention to the little efforts. Thank him for showing up, for trying, for caring. Encourage his dreams, even if they are still in the making. When you do this, you are giving him the freedom to feel wealthy as himself, not just as a provider. When a man feels respected, he will naturally give more, try harder, and love deeper. Respect isn't about inflating his ego. It's about affirming his value beyond what the world says he's worth. Number three, men secretly want to feel desired, not just needed. Men don't just want to be the ones chasing. Deep down, they crave to feel wanted, to know that their woman sees them as attractive, valuable, and worth desiring, not just as someone filling a role or meeting needs. Society often paints men as hunters, as if they always want to be the ones pursuing and proving themselves. But the truth is, men have fragile sides too. Being desired romantically, emotionally, and physically tells a man that he's more than a tool, more than a protector, more than a paycheck. It shows him that you don't just need him, you actually want him. That difference is huge. One says, I depend on you. The other says, I choose you. And trust me, men know the difference. Imagine a husband comes home after a long, exhausting day. He expects the usual routine dinner, maybe some small talk, then everyone crashing. But this night is different. His wife greets him with a smile, takes his jacket, and whispers, I've been waiting for you all day. She didn't spend a fortune or plan something extravagant. She simply let him know that his presence excites her, that he's not just needed as a provider, but desired as a man. That single moment can light up his entire week because it touches a deep place in him that work, money, or achievement can't reach. When men don't feel desired, they often start to shrink inside the relationship. They may keep giving, providing, showing up, but inwardly they feel invisible. They may even look for validation elsewhere, not always because they want someone new, but because they want to feel alive again. Desire is fuel. It gives a man energy, confidence, and passion. When a woman makes him feel desired, she's not feeding his ego. She's reminding him that he's seen, wanted, and appreciated beyond function. That's the kind of validation men rarely admit they crave but deeply need. Showing desire doesn't have to be dramatic. A lingering touch, a genuine compliment, a text that says, I can't wait to see you tonight. This simple gesture speaks volumes. It tells him, you matter to me. I don't just love what you do, I love who you are. That's the spark that keeps relationships alive even after years together. Because men don't just want to be providers. They want to be desired fully, freely, and consistently. Number four, men secretly want to be trusted in their intention. At the heart of almost every man is this quiet desire. He wants his woman to trust him not blindly, not foolishly, but in the sense that she believes in his intentions even when he isn't perfect. Men know they will make mistakes. They will get things wrong. They will forget the milk, mismanage their time, or stumble through their words. But what cuts deepest is when every mistake is seen as proof that he can't be trusted. For men, trust is less about perfection and more about belief. Do you believe I mean well? Do you believe I'm trying? When a man feels that his intentions are trusted, even when his execution falls short, he feels supported instead of judged. That trust becomes the soil where his confidence, his love, and his efforts grow stronger. Imagine a boyfriend promises his partner he will be home by 7 p.m. for dinner, but traffic holds him up and he walks in at 7:45. One woman might greet him with, of course you are late. I know you wouldn't keep your word. Another might say, I was worried, but I know you did your best to get here. The first response cuts him down, making him feel like his word means nothing. The second response reassures him that she trusts his effort and his intention, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. Same situation, but two very different emotional realities. For men, a lack of trust often feels like a lack of respect, a lack of belief, and even a lack of love. It is at their sense of identity because men are wired to want to be dependable. When a woman constantly doubts his motives or assumes the worst, he feels trapped in a relationship where he will never measure up. But when she shows she trusts his heart, it gives him space to grow, to try harder, and to actually become the dependable man he longs to be. Trust unlocks his potential. Distrust locks him in shape. The key is not blind faith, but a steady belief in his intentions. Ask yourself, do I correct him from a place of suspicion or from a place of belief? Simple words like, I know you are trying, or I trust you figure this out, can heal more than you think. Trust doesn't mean ignoring red flags. It means choosing to believe in his heart unless it gives you real reasons not to. And here's the beauty. When a man feels trusted, he doesn't relax into complacency. He rises into responsibility. He wants to live up to the belief you've placed in him. Number five, men secretly want partnership in life, not just romance. More than physical attraction, more than sparks and chemistry, men secretly want a woman who will stand beside them as a true partner, a teammate in the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Romance alone doesn't sustain a relationship. Men know this, even if they don't always say it. They don't just want someone to share cases with, they want someone who shares vision, dreams, and life challenges with them. To a man, a true partner is someone who is present not only in moments of celebration, but also in seasons of struggle. Partnership is just about alignment. It's the sense that you are both pulling in the same direction, building something together, not competing against each other. This is the deeper craving many men carry silently, to know they are not alone in the journey. Picture a man who loses his job unexpectedly. One woman might panic, criticize, or distance herself, making him feel like he's failed her. Another might sit down beside him, take his hand, and say, "We'll figure this out together. I believe in you." The first reaction deepens his shame and isolation. The second ignites his resilience because he knows he's not carrying the burden alone. That's partnership, not about who earns more or who fixes what, but about standing shoulder to shoulder when life tests both of you. When a man doesn't feel partnership, he may stay physically present but emotionally distant. He will feel like he's carrying the weight of life alone while also being expected to perform in love. But when he senses true partnership, someone who is for him, not against him, it transforms his energy. He no longer feels like he has to prove himself in every season. Instead, he feels supported, capable, and even more motivated to give his best. Partnership says, "I'm with you, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard." And that depth of loyalty touches him more deeply than appearance ever could. The secret is to show up as a teammate, not a critic. Ask questions like, "How can I support you?" Or "What do you need from me right now?" Celebrate victories together, but also roll up your sleeves in the struggles. Remind him that his worth to you isn't based on constant success. It's based on the fact that you are building life together. When a man feels this kind of partnership, he doesn't just stay, he invests, commits, and flourishes. Because in the end, what men really want is not someone who looks perfect by their side, but someone who works faithfully by their side. Here's the truth most people don't want to tell you. Men may notice looks, but it's not what keeps them. What holds their heart isn't the makeup, the hairstyle, or the dress. It's the woman who gives him emotional safety, respects who he is, makes him feel desired, trusts his intentions, and stands beside him as a true partner. Those are the things he secretly craves, the things he may never say out loud, but feels deeply every single day. And this is where you hold the power. Not the power to change a man, but the power to show up in relationships with clarity about what really matters. When you understand these hidden desires, you stop wasting energy on chasing perfection and start pouring into what actually builds connection. That shift not only transforms how he sees you, it transforms how you see yourself. So if you take anything from this video, let it be this. Lasting love isn't built on appearance. It's built on how two people make each other feel in the quiet, everyday moments. And when you give a man these five things, you don't just win his attention, you unlock his devotion. Because at the end of the day, the secret isn't in how you look, the secret is in how you love.